We all have a sense of identity. Um, we all have a sense of who we believe we are. What they teach of in Buddhism is that our idea, our self-image, is actually it's an error. It's kind of it's a false sense of self. Um, we believe that we are our thoughts. Uh, Throughout the day, we have a lot of different thoughts that go through our mind. Some are pleasant, some are unpleasant. We pick and choose out of this whole matrix of thinking what it is that actually defines who we are. But what they teach is that basically we aren't really our thoughts. Our thoughts are, most of it is impersonal data that's moving through the mindscape. Which is, to get deeper into it, it's based on karma and intention from what has happened in the past, is how we actually think and what makes up this false sense of self. If you sit in meditation and you try to follow what you really believe is who you are, what constitutes the I, when you start to see that what's happening is, through the flow of the mind, thoughts are arising and passing away moment to moment. So if you sit in meditation and you might think that, okay, I have this feeling, I have this sensation, that's who I am. I have this thought about who I was, who I'm going to be, that's who I am. But if you keep following this trajectory, basically it's just going to go into infinity. It doesn't really stop anywhere. You can't really pinpoint any solid nugget of self, no solid essence of who we are. It's just an infinite trajectory that keeps going on and on. So the I is basically being formed and dissolving in the mind flow moment to moment. We're more akin to kind of a narrative that we keep editing and embellishing as we go along. And it gets really complicated because you can't really pinpoint what the I is, but it's not that the I is nothing, it's also something. But it comes from an unrepeatable matrix of information that's going through our brains at any given moment that we've basically formed throughout our lifetime. What we are is more or less an impression more than anything. Than a fixed nugget of self. So if you start reading books on Buddhism, they'll go on and on about basically that we're basically emptiness. And I was talking about this in my last video that I had posted about emptiness, and it gets really confusing because you really can't define what emptiness is. But when you start looking into it and you start to see the fact that we are basically a product of change, that everything is based on impermanence, it starts to make a little bit of sense after that. You can't really say that I am this or I am that. We're constantly being reformed moment to moment. And the way to break this chain of identity, the best way they speak of is through Dharma practice, which is basically meditation. And what you do is you sit in meditation and you try to still the mind and you try to stay into the moment. So what you try to do is without holding on to thoughts, you just watch the thoughts go through the mindscape. And you see what's basically happening is the tendency is to get drawn to these ideas. But through meditation, you kind of go in with this light-handedness where you let everything just kind of flow through. You don't judge. You don't pick this choice. You don't pick this thought over that thought. It's just that everything keeps moving, and this kind of breaks that chain of identity. And through meditation, if you do it every day, just for even 10 or 15 minutes, it's really difficult to sit and quiet the mind. The mind is kind of like a monkey swinging from branch to branch, from thought to thought. But you get better at it after a while. Just try it for 10 or 15 minutes. The best way to do it is to find a comfortable spot and try not to have your back leaning against anything, because meditation is based on self-support. And what you try to do is just try to quiet the mind for at least 15, 10 minutes, even 5 minutes. The easiest way to do it is to follow the breath. And as you breathe in and out, feel the air coming in through your nostrils, going through the diaphragm, and then breathing out, breathing in and breathing out. And if you just do this for 5 or 10 minutes a day, you'll be surprised about how a lot of the turmoil in your life starts to subside. A lot of the confusion that you have throughout the day starts to diminish. And it gets better and better as you go along. So anyways, I hope this has helped a little bit in trying to clarify what all this mysterious Buddhism stuff is all about.